Well, folks, gather round. It's time to talk about Arizona, a state that seems to have mistaken sunshine laws for a mere suggestion rather than a mandate. We're diving deep into the murky waters of political corruption, and trust me, it's a doozy. The deeper we go, the more unsettling it becomes. Think of it as the Grand Canyon state of shady dealings, where transparency goes to die, buried under layers of bureaucracy and
Politicians, those supposed public servants, sometimes seem more interested in serving themselves, lining their pockets while regular Arizonans struggle to make ends meet. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as campaign finance loopholes. These loopholes are like open doors for corruption to stroll right through. We're talking backroom deals, conflicts of interest, and enough dark money to make a black hole blush. These secretive transactions undermine the very fabric of democracy. This lack of transparency is like a bad smell, except you can't just hold your nose and wait for it to pass. It lingers, affecting everyone. It permeates everything, making it hard to trust that decisions are being made for the right reasons. Citizens are left questioning the integrity of their leaders. So buckle up, Arizona, because we're about to expose the shenanigans happening under the desert sun. Get ready for a wild ride through the tangled web of political corruption. Now you might be thinking, zoeduhh, this corruption stuff sounds bad, but how does it affect me personally? How does it impact my day-to-day life and my family's future? My friend, it affects you more than you think. Corruption isn't just a distant issue. It's a shadow that looms over our communities, affecting everything from our roads to our schools. Remember that pothole you almost lost an axle in? That's not just bad luck. It's a sign of mismanaged funds and neglected infrastructure. Or that school down the street with leaky roofs and outdated textbooks. Our children deserve better, but corruption diverts the resources meant for their education. Yeah, corruption plays a role in that.
When funds are siphoned off by corrupt officials, our public services suffer. When politicians are busy lining their own pockets, they're not exactly focused on creating jobs or ensuring financial security for their constituents. They prioritize their own wealth over the well-being of the community. Think about it.
Money funneled to shady contractors or wasted on pet projects is money that could be going towards education, infrastructure, or supporting small businesses. These are the foundations of a thriving community. This corruption creates a vicious cycle. It erodes trust in public institutions and leaves communities struggling to make ends meet. Less investment in public services leads to fewer opportunities, which leads to greater financial insecurity, which makes people more vulnerable to exploitation. It's a downward spiral that's hard to escape. It's like a bad game of Monopoly, except you're not allowed to be the banker, and the rules are rigged against you. The game is unfair, and the stakes are real, affecting your livelihood and future. Let's talk about priorities, people. What really matters to us as a community? Arizona, a state facing severe drought, widespread poverty, and a struggling education system, seems to have a strange obsession with funneling vast amounts of money into the military-industrial complex. It's like they skipped straight to the defense part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, while completely forgetting about the whole basic survival bit, like food, water, and education. We're talking about billions upon billions of taxpayer dollars being funneled to defense contractors, money that could be used to improve our communities. Meanwhile, schools are crumbling, classrooms lack basic equipment, and people are struggling to put food on the table. I'm not saying we shouldn't invest in national security, but there's a difference between being safe and being a cash cow for weapons manufacturers. We need balance. This skewed spending is a direct result of intense lobbying, massive campaign contributions, and the revolving door between government officials and the defense industry. It's a cozy little arrangement where everyone profits, except, of course, the people of Arizona, who are left to deal with the consequences of these misplaced priorities. Now, I know what you're thinking. America, land of the free, home of the brave, no way we'd ever stand for the kind of invasive surveillance we see in, say, China. Well, hold on to your tinfoil hats, folks, because the reality might surprise you. While we love to point the finger at China's social credit system, we conveniently ignore the growing surveillance apparatus in our own backyard. From facial recognition technology to data collection by tech giants, we're being watched, tracked, and analyzed more than ever before. The difference, you ask? Well, in China, it's the government doing the spying. Here, it's a collaboration between corporations and the government, all under the guise of national security or convenience. It's a slippery slope, folks, and we're already halfway down it.